Hello, and welcome to Amazing Jessy Show. Today is Saturday, which means a new show. But today will be a very special show. Today, as we all know, is Valentine's Day, a day the world has decided to celebrate what we know as love. But what is love, anyways? I went to the dictionary to find out, and it says it's an intense feeling of deep affection. For example, a baby fills parents with a feeling of love. But as Christians, when we don't understand something, we don't just go to the dictionary, we don't just go to Google, we don't just go to Safari, we go to the Bible. So that's exactly what I did. And there I found in 1 Corinthians 13, verse 4, it says, love is patient, love is kind. It does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud, it does not dishonor others, it is not self seeking, it is not easily angered. It keeps no records of wrong. And in 1 John 4, verse 16, it says, God is love, and whoever abides in love abides in God, and God abides in him. God is love, and all who live in love live in God, and God lives in them. So isn't love such a beautiful thing? And tomorrow, as I said at the start, is the day the world has decided to celebrate love. But do we know what love is? What is love? That's the question. And to answer that question, I've brought an amazing panel of amazing people. So before I get started, let's get introduced to this amazing panel. So let's get started with the first person I see here, and that is Elizabeth. So go ahead and introduce yourself.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Elizabeth Alimeka, and I'm 13 years old. I'm a Pentecostal Christian, and my main hobbies are dancing, art, and gymnastics.
Well, then thank you, Lizzie. And let's move on to Kimberly.
Hi, my name is Kimberly Alyumeka, and I'm 16 years old, and I'm very excited to be here again. Thank you very much, Jessica.
Thank you, and I'm happy you're excited to be here. Can we please move on to Vargo?
Hello, my name is Ugochukwu Owando. I am a music minister and then a nurse by profession.
Thank you, Vargo. And I am from Nigeria, but I sadly do not know how to pronounce names, so I am not going to try and ruin it for you. Can we move on to Dorcas?
Hi everyone, I am Dorcas Angela. I am 20 something years old, and I'm in the church with my friend Reki, who's also there, and we're so happy you invited us. Thank you, Jessica.
Thank you very much. And I just want to say I've been many places and heard many voices, but that is just such a wonderful voice. I just love it.
Thank you.
And can we please, last but not least, move on to Reki?
Hi, my name is Raki. I'm 23 years old, and I'm really happy to be here. I'm excited.
Thank you very much, all of you. Thank you so much, you beautiful people. I love what all of you are wearing. I couldn't even compete with that. So we are going to get started on this show we are presenting to everyone, which I've entitled, What is Love? And I'm just going to say right now, I don't know very much about this topic, so which is why I have all of you here to enlighten me. So I have no particular order which I will be asking the people the questions. I'm just going to do it in the order I can see you all here. So we're going to get started with the first question, and a quite straightforward question, well, in my opinion, but I'm pretty sure it's very, very deep and very detailed. So what is love to you? So I don't want to know what love is in the dictionary. I don't even want to know what love is maybe in the Bible. I want to know what love is to you. What is your understanding of the word love? So can we please start with Kimberly?
So to me, love has always been that special day where you would take time to appreciate your loved ones, or to make them a card or give them something just to say thank you for everything they've done. So yeah.
So like love would be a show of appreciation, gratitude.
Yeah.
Okay. And can we move on to Lizzie? What is love to you?
Love is, yeah, like what Kimberly said, like showing appreciation to somebody that you care about and someone that you love, basically.
Okay. I'm trying to start to get an idea. Get an idea. So Virgo, what is love to you?
Well, to me, I consider love to be respect and care. It's not something that it's just done in a one day. It should be a continuous thing. So if you love me and then you only respect me in a day, then you don't love me. So
So
it's a love and it's
sorry,
respect.
can I ask, do you think you can respect somebody without loving somebody?
Yes, you can.
But you can't love without respecting as well.
No, you can. You can't love without respect, but you can respect without loving.
Okay. So Dorcas, what is love to you?
Thank you. Yeah, you can start to hear, we're so aged that you can start to hear it getting deep there. So for me, love would be, sacrifice. We really see it. If you look at the Bible, you really take your time and look at the Bible, you'll see that love is really sacrifice. I'm not even talking about, the basic John 3:16, we all know that. But when Jesus, when it came down to it, Jesus told us, if you love me, keep my commandments. So it's only those that keep his commandments that truly love him. So when I think of that, just like as you started off and said that, to start off, as Christians, we need to go to the Bible to learn anything that we do not know. So for me, I take that on and I start to see it through that way. If I'm not sacrificial, for my family, for my friends, for my loved ones, then am I truly loving them? It's always inconveniencing yourself for the betterment of the others. So what God has done for us on the cross is the perfect example, obviously. And of course, for us to apply that in our lives, it's simple as that. You have to make sure that you are sacrificial. It's not always getting your way. It's not, me. It's how am I going to better someone's life today, tomorrow, etc.
Yeah, definitely. I think that the Bible shows many very good examples of love. And with love, it does show that love, sometimes you're not always going to be smiling. You're not always going to be laughing. That love comes with crying. It comes with sacrifice. And I think that's something we all need to know, that there's both sides of love. And lastly, Becky, what is love to you?
Well, I probably am going to piggyback off to what Dorcas says and what you said. First of all, to me, understanding love is looking at God, because the Bible does say God is love, and that's the perfect description of what love is. It's all that he is. As you read out 1 Corinthians 12, you said love is patient, love is kind. But I would drift off to what Dorcas said, in a sense that love is sacrificial. Jesus says that there's no greater love than when a person lays down their life for a friend. He goes, there's no greater love than that. So as she said, love is sacrificial. Love is about giving, as the Bible says, for God so loved the world. So although we think love is like, I thought before love was like feeling, love is feeling I like, they like. No, but now I understand that love is selfless. Love is giving. Love is not too much about me, but more about what can I give to somebody else. Yeah, so that's all I'll say about that.
Yes, love, I think, is a very selfless thing. It's more when you love someone, it's more you're not thinking about yourself, but about that person. What can be better for that person? I think that is very, very true. So moving on to my second question. Tomorrow is Valentine's Day, and I think there's a lot of ideas about what Valentine's Day really is going around. There's a whole origin. This morning I was checking up the origin of Valentine's Day, and there was many stories, and I was so confused at some point. There's like so many ideas of what Valentine's Day really is. What's the meaning of Valentine's Day? So I just want to ask, like, what is like when you hear Valentine's Day, what do you think of? What is the meaning of Valentine's Day? So can we start with Elizabeth this time?
Well, to me, Valentine's Day is like a specific day where people show love and affection to like something or someone that they love. So it doesn't have to be, but people like think of it as a day where you only like people think that you can only celebrate it if you have like a lover, like somebody that you like, your spouse, your husband or something. But I think that it's a relationship between anyone, like say you and your friend, if that's a relationship. Say you and God, that's another relationship. So I think Valentine's Day is just appreciating. That's what I think it is.
Yes, yes. So Kimberly, what is like the meaning of Valentine's Day to you?
To me, Valentine's Day, as Lizzie said, is a day to appreciate those around you. It's one day in the year that we take, but I feel like we shouldn't really give one day to be able to appreciate someone. But it's a day when we take our time to thank those around us for being with us, for helping us, and also for also appreciating us. So that's what I think Valentine's Day is.
Okay, I'm going to be honest. Valentine's Day, before I move on to everybody else, Valentine's Day for me it's always been mostly just, as Kimberly and Lizzie said, an appreciation thing. When I think of Valentine's Day, I'm like, the people I love around me all year round, I can show them how much I love them. But as the world has put up one day for me, I'm going to show you guys I love you very much. I am so grateful for everything you've done. So I think that it is good, even if we appreciate them all throughout the year on their birthdays, on Christmas, on any day. I think that Valentine's Day, we say, I really do appreciate you. So yes, you and Elizabeth and Kimberly, yeah, definitely the appreciation thing. I very much get it. Margot, what is Valentine's Day to you? I think something may be wrong Virgo's count mic for now, so we'll move on to the next person. Dorcas, what is Valentine's Day to you?
Oh gosh, it's a tricky question. When I saw the questions, I was thinking, way too deep into it, thinking to myself, well, I've never actually thought of it that way. I don't actually think, what is Valentine's Day? If you look at the history of it all, you're going to see a lot of controversy, where people are saying, it was really a day where, pagans would do a bunch of rituals and things like that, and that's what the sacrifice, their bodies and stuff like that to whatever pagan gods. And then the other side, you're going to see that, there was a priest and he married people in secret and this and that, you're hearing all these different stories. And now we know we've modernized it and we've capitalized on it. It's all about roses and flowers and chocolates and all these kind of great things, which is nice to, indulge in. But for me, with Valentine's Day, you girls have really just hit the nail on the head for me. You have spoken about how it's a day of appreciation, and you've also pointed out that it cannot be the only day. This cannot be the day that you have an epiphany. Oh my goodness, my family has been good to me. This is not that kind of day. You don't do that on Valentine's Day, but you do go the extra mile, just a little bit extra, just like Christmas, you do just that little bit more with a gift or something like that, and just as you've mentioned before, it should not be grouped in, you can't celebrate it if you don't have a husband or whatever, the case may be. No, your pastor who's been good to you, your friends, your sisters, all these good stuff, all these beautiful relationships that God has given us, we should really appreciate them and just reach out to them on that day. And to me, yeah, it can just be another fluffy togetherness kind of holiday, just like Christmas. That's really what Valentine's is for me right now.
Yeah, I get that. And sometimes I feel like when you have the misconception of what love really is, that's when you have the whole confusion of what Valentine's Day is. As Lizzie said, people very much don't sometimes understand that love is directed to many different people, and that it's not just a one person you're going to say, oh, I love you, to say no. And it's to everybody who has always been good to you, who has always been by your side. And I think that's just a lovely thing. So, Virgo, what is Valentine's Day for you, or what is the true meaning of Valentine's Day to you?
What it means to me, or what it is generally?
Or what it like means for you?
Oh, to me, it's a day where love is being celebrated. So, but the difference here is depending on what we call love, or what each individual refers to as love, that determines how we celebrate or how we show this love. So Valentine's Day is a day where when people appreciate one another, show love, talk about things that need to be talked about, but it should be done in the most appropriate way, in the way that it's acceptable, and it's not just for everyone. Someone here said something about what love means to them. If you don't understand God's love, you would celebrate Valentine's Day in the wrong way, because who invented it, the man it was named after, what actually he's being remembered for has been taken away from what is being celebrated today. So Valentine's Day to me, it's a day where people appreciate love, talk about love, um, look for ways to make love be better, because love could be weak, love could be strong. Look for ways to make it stronger and do it in the most appropriate way as believers.
Yes. And Reku, what is Valentine's Day for you or to you?
So to me, Valentine's Day doesn't have any biblical backing, but as the Bible says, to those whose hearts are pure, all things are pure. So I think, as he said, if you make it into your own and make it into something good, where you can even use it to appreciate the loved ones around you, you know, to go that extra mile, that, as people have said, and even to just, you know, show that love of Christ through different ways. I think that would be okay. So that's what I would probably do on Valentine's Day, just going the extra mile, not necessarily seeing it from the perspective that the world is giving me, but kind of making it my own, since I don't think the concept of it is bad. Yeah. So that's what Valentine's Day would be to me.
Okay, yeah, and like here with all the answers, which are amazing answers, we have said mostly that if you are going to celebrate Valentine's Day, which and Valentine's Day has been named the day we celebrate love, you're gonna have to see what the meaning of love is to you. And sometimes love is different to loads of people, so they're obviously gonna celebrate it differently. So I just wanna ask, how do you think that like it may be celebrated wrongly? But the thing is, it's from the perspective of how you see Valentine's Day, I think. So, like, how do you think that some people celebrate this day of celebration of love wrongly? So, can we start with Kimberly?
So I think that on Valentine's Day, people feel pressured to give something to someone. I don't think that Valentine's Day is a day where you have to give something to someone to show that you love or to show that you appreciate someone. It could be just by words, or it can be by actions. As they say, actions speak louder than words. So you don't exactly need to give somebody a physical present to give them a present or a gift to show that you love them.
Okay, yeah, I totally get that. And Lizzie, Elizabeth? What about you?
Yeah, basically what Kimberly said. I was researching what Valentine's Day was, and it said that it is a holiday marked on the 14th of February where lovers express their affection with greetings and gifts. And I feel like specifically men are pressured to buy gifts for their wives, or like this is like relationship wise, like couples wise. I feel like more men are pressured to buy gifts for their wives because some of the like their friends maybe might be going the extra mile for their wives to buy them gifts, and they are like bragging, so they feel like they have to buy them this or that or else they wouldn't accept. And I watched some videos of some ladies going like, my husband still hasn't asked me to be their Valentine. And then when they ask at that particular moment, they're like, no, that's not right. You have to do all the extra stuff, like buy me presents, this. And I don't think that's right. It's very unnecessary and uncalled for.
So do you think that when you bring in all the pressure of doing, like even if you have to go the extra mile, do you think that when you bring in the pressure of having to go the extra mile, it takes away the love of actually doing it? Yeah.
I guess so.
Do you understand the question?
I mean, some people might be happy to buy their wives or people presents, but
I understand what you're saying. I'm asking, do you think that adding the pressure to it takes away the love from it?
yes, I do kind of think so.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's right. And Vargo, how do you think that some people may celebrate wrongly?
Yeah, the celebration of a thing, it's dependent on the definition one gives it. So it could be celebrated wrongly based on what one thinks that day is meant for. And then what does love mean to a person?
Okay, so based on, I don't know if you guys can see the face. So based on aside from our own personal views of what Valentine's Day is to us, based on the real origin of Valentine's Day, do you think that some people still take away the meaning of it when they're celebrating it?
Yes.
Okay, so how's
Yeah.
that?
A lot of people, yes, nowadays celebrate it wrongly, do funny stuff on the day, and it is not the definition of what it should be, because it was called Lovers Day. So whatever anybody thinks love is, that is what they are put to the day. So if you think drinking it's love, when I buy you drink, you think I love you, then that day it's a day we go drinking. So you see, people celebrate it differently and it could be wrong. And I tell you, 95% of the people who celebrate it wrongly, because they have misconception of what it should be, and they have misplaced the actual meaning of what should be done or how it should be done.
Okay, and I want to get back to that when we're doing the next question, but first I want to hear everybody else's answers. So, Dorcas, how do you think that some people may be straying away from the real meaning of Valentine's Day?
Well, of course, with the world, carnality and everything like that, and people always move away, just like, if we went out and started, asking random people on the street, what was Jesus like? They're going to give you a description of this hippy dippy, peace man kind of Jesus. And that's not who Jesus was, as we know here, being Christians. So the world will always, take something and then, they could take the skeleton and then they fill everything else, in whatever way they want to. So we really just deviate away from the main message, just like our brother was saying there. And I think it's very true in that when we look at, if the story is exactly as it goes, people were willing, at the time, those soldiers, if you were found out, that you were marrying your lover in secret, you could have been executed, so people were going that extra mile. I love this person so much that I'm willing to take the risk of being executed simply for marrying them, and so it's major. It's speaking volumes, on what the passion that people were carrying. The priest himself, who could have been endangered and executed, who was jailed after that, after he was found out and everything like that. So we really shift away from that. It was just this beautiful contribution to the union of marriage, and of course the world doesn't like marriage. The devil doesn't like marriage. So they moved the marriage out of it. Now it's just your boyfriend and girlfriend. And you guys, some of us here might be too young, but people our age, the older people on the panel, it's all about sleeping around and this and that, getting ready and doing just crazy things, and that's not what Valentine's is. If you're going to celebrate love, you're going to celebrate God first of all. As a Christian, you're going to appreciate God for the love that he has given you, and the salvation is the ultimate love. And then of course you're going to apply that love, to your family, to your friends. You're not going to move on to, the way of the world. You're not going to move on to the way of the world. I'm trying to really keep this friendly, trying to really censor my words here. I imagine the viewers will be young. So, we're not going to move towards the way of the world in how we go about things. So to me, yes, the world definitely has moved away. And just like one of our sisters mentioned before, it's all about presents and all these just silly things that, a lot of these relationships, you see them, they're posting roses, 20 bouquets and all these crazy things. Behind closed doors, they're so unhappy. It's not even funny. Like, so many people are in broken relationships and they're taking pictures with chocolates and flowers and teddies and all this, the size of a house. And, that boyfriend was beating her up just yesterday. This was happening. They were just having a fight, and it's all just a show, so we've really moved far away from the actual meaning. If we're going to talk about love, the world has just drifted so far. It's beyond comprehension to me.
Yeah, I totally get that. It's actually crazy. If you think about when the world actually began, around Noah's time, you can see that even when the world started, it was a peaceful, it's a happy place. And you can see that people already deviated from that whole concept of when the world began. And you can see that a lot of the time when something starts off beautiful, human beings, they always take it and turn it into something it's not. And I think that really takes the beauty out of what it was from the beginning. So, Reki, can I know what is Valentine's Day to you?
Okay, so I'm going to touch on probably
Wait,
why.
sorry, that was not the question.
Yeah.
How was it celebrated wrong?
Okay, so the reason I think it's a bit corrupted is because of lack of knowledge. Like, people, because what it started as was this, but people would give their own definition of what the day should be. So if people don't already know what love is, they don't know God, they don't know Jesus, they don't know what love is. So they're just going to make the day into what their perception of what it's supposed to be, which is actually lost. In actuality, this day actually represents more lust than actual real love. You know what I mean? Lust in the sense of, as Dorcas says, it's really, a lot of the times it's really celebrated as, I have to have a partner on this day. I have to have somebody that will shower me with gifts, that will show me and take me out and all this. And, it's getting a less, like, there's a lot of lust in it. There's a lot of selfishness in a sense that the girls just want stuff, right? And the guys that are giving them these things probably haven't given them anything throughout the whole year. So why is it on this particular, it's usually when aimed that they already do it, that if I'm giving you this gift, it's because I want something after it. It's not pure. It's these days, it's not really pure. When you see the pictures of roses, it's usually for a selfish ambition or just to cover guilt, even sometimes in a worldly marriage, because they haven't loved them the whole year. So the woman's waiting for this particular day that he will show me love. And I don't think that's right. It should already be shown throughout all the days of their marriage. And in a relationship, boyfriend, girlfriend, it's not right in a sense that it promotes lust, it promotes sin, it promotes, because lust, if people come together because of lust, it just promotes more sin, and then it just takes a bad turn, So that's why, to me, this day can be very corrupted and is mainly seen as something that people use for themselves rather than celebrating love in itself, because they don't even know what it is. So you can't even blame them for putting their own definition on it. So yeah, that's why I would say it's corrupted.
So yeah, it's mostly people just being ignorant about the whole thing. Yeah, okay. So now that you guys have shown me ways that people have definitely deviated from the whole true meaning of Valentine's Day, would you say you think that young Christians or Christians in general should celebrate Valentine's Day? Can we please start with Kimberly?
I personally don't think it's wrong to celebrate Valentine's Day as long as you are doing it right. Like Brogo said, it's your definition of love. The way you understand how love works is the way you're going to celebrate Valentine's Day and the way you're going to love somebody else. I believe that if you are doing it because you truly love someone or because you really just want to appreciate someone and you just choose that because this was a special day made for, you know, this type of celebration, or as people would put it, that I'm going to take this special time to celebrate them. I mean, you don't particularly have to celebrate them on that day, but yeah.
Yeah, okay. So you think it's like if you understand the true meaning of it, then it's not a bad thing for Christians to celebrate.
Yeah.
Okay. And Lizzie, what's your take on that?
Yeah. It's basically everything that she said. Yeah, you have to have the understanding of what it means so you don't go doing all those sinful things that does not glorify God's name. So that's all I have to say.
Yeah, I do think you're right, because when you think about like celebrating Valentine's Day, if you're doing things that do not glorify God's name when God is love, then you're basically not celebrating Valentine's Day the way it should be. So yeah, you're very right. And Vargo, do you think that young Christians should celebrate Valentine's Day?
Well, in my opinion, I don't think young Christians should celebrate Valentine's Day. My reason is, if we're talking about love, and then we're referring to it from the perspective of the Christianity. As young Christians, okay, I'm trying to cut down my words, kind of. Yes, young Christians, I am not in support, but they can be preoccupied with activities that will make them not look out of the window to see what others are doing. But in the sense, they are not actually celebrating Valentine. It's just like when we have Halloween, and then do we encourage young Christians to celebrate it? No, they don't. But in a way, we find an activity to occupy them, because love in that essence, it is kind of tertiary in a way, a little high above the understanding of young Christians. So they should focus on what is more peculiar to their age. For the adults, yes, you control it because you're an adult, or couples. You now define what you want. You define the things you want to discuss or talk about on Valentine's Day. But for young Christians, to me, I don't agree that young Christians should be celebrating Valentine. No.
Okay, I understand where Virgo's coming from, because like as I've grown up, every time there's Valentine's Day, we always in church we would do like a ball or something like that, just to like with all the young people, just so that we're doing something that does glorify God and just being like the people that you cherish. And then on Halloween we do something like Hallelujah Night, just do something that's not based on worldly activities. So I think Virgo is very right in that sense. So, do you think that young Christians should celebrate Valentine's Day?
I'm not too sure. Did you call my name? There's quite some noise there in the background.
Yes, I did. Sorry.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, I hear, both sides of the argument, and I'm a bit of an in-betweener, I like balance, and I would argue that yes, but in a refined way. I would argue that we should allow, young Christians to celebrate Valentine's in a refined way. And I say this because I know what it was like for me growing up. in school, from primary school, I don't know about your experiences, girls, some of us here are 13, but from school, I remember, back in the days, people, the girls especially, oh, I have 8 Valentines, oh, I have 9 Valentines, all these kind of things. And so it's always going to be there, if we tell our kids, no, 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 as soon as they go outside and they're spending 5, 6, 7 hours outside, and they're coming home spending about that same amount of hours awake with you, and then they're asleep, everyone's asleep, but it shows that the world is really indoctrinating the children, for half the time that they're awake. So we need to really be careful in how we raise our kids. And I really speak, from a parent's perspective. If you're going to go and say, no, this is intolerable, let's not do it, your child is going to learn it from someone else. Better for you to teach them that, in a safe way. Okay, Valentine's is not about, sexual intercourse and all these kind of things. Valentine's is truly about John 3:16, etc., etc., 1 Corinthians 13. You're going to teach them how love really came down. It came from heaven to us, and then we show love through this, and we don't do that. So that when they hear their friends, saying this and that, oh, it's time to go to the disco, I'm going to go, and, get this shift, and all these things that kids are talking about, because it is happening, on Valentine's Day, kids are going out, but thanks to, coronavirus, hopefully no one's going out this night. So tomorrow night even. So, in things like that, we need to teach our children, I'm not allowing you to do this because of this reason, that reason, but I will allow you to do this because I know this is better from my experiences. We need to really just take it very slow, balance everything out, teach them the good way to do things, because God is love after all, as Sister Rekia said, God is love. So we need to show our kids, don't be like the world, don't conform to the world, because if you keep them like completely closed off to the world and this and that, as soon as, and some, this you guys, for the younger viewers, panelists on this show, as you come to college, and this has been our experience, Reki can definitely back that up, we have seen so many people who were caged off in their homes. They came to college and they went wild, Valentine's Day, they went crazy. So it's not good for your child to be completely, locked away from this. Valentine's is global. You need to teach them the right way to do things and the wrong way, because if you just show them this is wrong, that is wrong, the world is bad, they're not going to. It's almost like the devil's going to play into that, it's going to start building a lust in them, for it, just to experience it. So I would say, I'm an in-betweener on this case. And I would say, teach them the right way to celebrate it the right way.
Yeah, you're definitely right. And I'm still just a teenager, but I would definitely advise it not to be a thing that you're just caving the child, because even as much as you cave them, they're still going to go out. They're still going to be school at least, and you're going to meet people there who will influence you. And I think that's a matter that you don't just hide the bad things from them, because they're going to find out one way or another. It's more of showing them both and showing them the better option for them. So I think that is very true. And Reki, what is your opinion on young people celebrating Valentine's Day?
I think Dorcas actually hit the nail on the head. I would say the same thing as her, that I wouldn't totally cage them off from it, but I would, you grow them up with the definition of what love actually is, whether it's your children or young Christians. Let them know what love is. Tell them that God is love. Like, let them understand love for themselves. So by the time they're in college or they're in school and people are telling them about Valentine's Day, they're going to logically think that, wait, this isn't even, okay, even if this is Valentine's Day and this is celebrating love, well, love is God. And they can even use that to even preach in their classes and tell them, no, oh, you guys actually have it wrong. It's not actually about the gifts, actually, this isn't actually love. Look, come here, I'll show you in the Bible. This is what love actually is. So it's not exactly telling them, no, Valentine's Day is bad, but they can actually use it to their advantage if they're educated and they know what love is, and they know that, okay, this is a day to celebrate love. So I'm going to celebrate love, the pure kind of love, the real kind of love, because even young Christians, they're knowledgeable. They know how to put 2 and 2 together and know when something's off. So instead of them being totally not spoken to about what Valentine's Day is. No, tell them about it, but give your own definition on it. Let them know it from a God perspective, you know. And I feel like if they know, they can just continue to celebrate it that in a pure way. So that's what I would say.
Yeah, that was very true. I'm really happy with the responses. I think we got many different opinions there. And just going to back to one thing Bargo said. He said that sometimes um, Valentine's Day for young people might be just too much. And I want to ask, do you think that celebrating Valentine's Day is a thing you can do at a certain age, or is it a thing of maturity? Because you could say that no matter how much I tell my child, she or he's still a child, they still can stray off very, very easily. They can be influenced very, very easily. So would you say it's a thing of maturity or a thing of age? So can we start with Elizabeth?
Well, I think it's a thing of maturity. But yeah, age does come in as well, because as you said, that people can be easily influenced. And sometimes, I mean, yeah, it does take God and maturity, like, to not be as like influenced by the bad stuff of like love, like lust and all those stuff. But yeah, I'm not too sure though. I'm not sure.
Do you think like both of them? Do age?
Yeah, I think it's both.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
I get that. So Kimberly, what do you think?
I think it is a thing of maturity. When you get to understand the true meaning of love and the true meaning of Valentine's Day, you can truly, celebrate it, knowing what it really means. It's like celebrating Christmas without knowing what Christmas is really about. Like how non-Christians would believe that Christmas is a day where we give presents to each other and, oh yeah, Santa comes and all of that. But Christmas is a day that was taken especially to celebrate the birth of Jesus Christ and to celebrate the Savior coming to the world. So it's kind of like that. So once you understand what it is, then it's okay for you to celebrate it that way.
Okay, so you would say like you could be any age, but if you don't have the understanding, the knowledge, and the wisdom of what you're celebrating, it doesn't matter how old you are, you have to be more knowledgeable in that area. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I get that too. So what would you think, Vargo?
Yeah, I think it's a matter of maturity, but still, coming from the Christian perspective, we don't celebrate Valentine.
What do we do?
We recognize love, we talk about things, but we are not celebrating Valentine. If I must say it that way, the Christians, we don't celebrate Valentine. Rather, we might fix a program or get an activity to occupy ourselves. So it wouldn't look like we are bored, but we are not celebrating Valentine. So if it's about maturity or celebrating Valentine, I would say yes, maturity comes into play, because with maturity, there comes understanding of what actually love is, what is it meant to be, how is it meant to be done. But in quotes, Christians don't celebrate Valentine, even though we find something on that day to keep ourselves busy. But
Okay, so like when Christians finally come to maturity of the knowledge of what love is, so then we know that Valentine's Day is not showcasing the kind of love, the God's
so,
kind of love.
yeah, we celebrate the God kind of love and not the kind of love the world
Yeah.
celebrates. Because that the whole world accepts it doesn't mean that it is acceptable to God. So even though people are running after it, doing anything they want on that day, we don't join. Rather, we keep ourselves busy. It's just like 25th of December. If you know, Christ wasn't born on that day. But Christians cut out that day to celebrate the birth of Christ, because from the origin, that day was used to celebrate a kind of God. kind of the people that worship idol, they had something to celebrate on that day. But Christians use that same day to celebrate the birth of Christ. But see what it has become now, that even that God they used to worship on that day, nobody remembers it. It is now what the Christians called it. That is what it has become. So we don't celebrate Valentine. Rather, we get something to keep ourselves occupied with. If it's a talk, if it's a game, if it's a show, but we get occupied with something that would elevate us spiritually and make us bond.
Okay, so this is more of growing as a Christian, you would say.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So Reki, what's your thoughts on this?
My thoughts would be, I understand where I think his name is Virgo. I understand exactly where he's coming from, in a sense that I would see Valentine's Day as, personally in my own life, I think every day should be this Valentine's Day. Like, we don't necessarily celebrate, oh, Valentine's Day is the day we look forward to and we celebrate it. No, we redefine it and we say that, oh, people want to show love. Okay, I'll show you love, but I'll show you love. I'll show love to you can show love to your parent, your spouse, or whatever. But it should be done throughout the year. The whole showing love should be done in general, like every single day of the year. You shouldn't just wait to this particular day. So I see where he comes from, where he says that we don't actually celebrate the what you call it, the event of Valentine's Day, but we just take the idea, but we turn it into what we want to call it and what we want to celebrate, on that particular day. Not necessarily celebrate, but what we want to engage in. So I kind of see where he's coming from, in the sense that we don't necessarily celebrate the actual day, just the same way as, like, we don't celebrate Halloween, we don't celebrate certain things. Even Christmas, we celebrate the birth of Jesus. I see what it means by not necessarily Christmas as a day, but I also think that these things can be coined in a way that we can preach the gospel, in a sense that if you say that, okay, today I recognize love, and then you can even do a preaching on that particular day and talk about what is the true meaning of love. What should this day actually be like? You coin it into what you want, to bring it to turn it to something pure, rather than going with the trends of the world. So that's what I would say about that day.
So you see, like, as Christians, we take the concept of Valentine's Day and we turn it into our own meaning. Yeah.
That's exactly what I would do. It's already things that people know. People know of this day of love. So why don't you tell them what love actually is?
Yeah.
And tell them, explain to them, so they have that. So they're like, oh, so God is love. So this should be what this day is about, actually. You know what I mean? Yeah.
So. And Dorcas, what is your opinion on this?
Yes, some very good, different aspects. Everyone has their own take on it, and I really do appreciate you all for everything that you're saying. It's really giving ideas, and I do appreciate what our brother is saying. If we're saying, if we're taking Valentine's Day as how the world, the carnal mind sees Valentine's, then he's absolutely right. No Christian should be celebrating that, in any aspect, in any way at all. My perspective would be, we as Christians, if we're going to, everything to me is a fight. I'm just that person. Everything, everything is worship and war. To me, everything's just worship and war. So when it comes to holidays, when it comes to your everyday, even, or the days of the week, everything, the devil is trying to have an influence over everything. The day Monday is named after a god, Tuesday, Thursday, they're all named after gods. And we as Christians need to fight back, especially in this end time. This is just my take. We need to fight back in every way. For example, our brother mentioned, about the celebration. Yeah, the winter solstice. They celebrated the moon and the god of the moon during the 25th. This is what the pagans were doing, and the Christians, came fighting that. And just as our brother mentioned, now people are like, okay, they know Jesus. Yeah, Jesus there. So at least they know the name of Jesus. There's that already, but it's not good enough. And I feel we need to fight back. Of course, we're not fighting back with Halloween. We know that was a celebration of the god Samhain. For those who speak Irish, that's the month of November, Samhain. So he's actually a demon, and that's what the Irish named, the month. So he was, there, even in Irish, in every culture, in every language, you're going to find something that is named after a demon, after this, after that. We need to fight that. Before we know it, we're going to be associating Easter with a bunny and eggs and this and that. You see how they're just creeping in and doing this and doing that. The world is just really turning everything upside down. And we can see that, especially in America, which is a great example right now. Everything's just going upside down. Everything's just turbulence over there. So I feel maturity and age, to me, it's not a game of maturity and age. It should start very young, because the enemy is trying to infiltrate the children very young. My small child is going to know, on this day, we're not celebrating, gifts and chocolates. On this day, we're going to stand in prayer. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. We're going to fight against, against what the world is doing, basically. That's the same for Easter. That's the same for Halloween. We don't at all. Halloween is obviously just demonic. We don't partake in that at all. I'm fasting and praying on Halloween, and my church, the Powerhouse, we're over there praying through the night. That's what we're doing on Halloween. But for Christmas and things like that, children are going to be completely infiltrated with that, with the words around it, with the gifts, the lights, everything is so bright. And it's just the way the enemy operates. He makes everything look so fancy. He makes everything look so bright. We need to counter attack that. We really need to come with a stronger force and show them, God is true light. And we need to teach them in a way that they will understand, and they will take that going forward, So from a little age, from 3-4 years old, when they know how to draw, they can make a card, a Valentine's card or whatever, mommy, this is for you, daddy, this is for you. If we start there, and then they start growing up, we read scripture, you read John 3:16, and they recite that over and over. I feel there is a safe way of actually raising kids in this world. There's still a safe way to raise kids in this world, to celebrate the things of God and counterattack the ways of the world, I believe.
Yeah, you're right. I think it's really what Christians have to get is that we shouldn't just shy away from what the world is doing. We should actually fight back and turn it into its true meaning. Like, there's so many things throughout the year. We have Easter associated with chocolate. You got Halloween. There's sweets and all the witches and all this stuff. You got Christmas, more chocolate for some reason. You got what's it called? Even just losing a tooth, they associate that with money and chocolate. It's always give me this, give me this. If you think about it, your birthday, honestly, I really like presents, but your birthday is a thing. I think you should celebrate your parents. You should thank your parents. This is a day where we should give everything throughout the year. Human beings have turned into a thing. Give me this. I deserve this. This is me. This is for me. And I think that it has just shied away from the true meaning of a lot of things. And I think as Christians, it's our duty to show them the true meaning of things. It says in John 9:4, verse 4 and 5, I must work the works of him that sent me while it is day. The night cometh when no man can work. As long as I am the light of the world, I am the light of the world. We need to be the light of the world. We can't just say, because there's darkness here, I'm going to leave. We have to be the light for that darkness. So I think we can't just be seeing all these things that's happening and just leave it. I think we should take these things and let it become what it actually needs to become. And lastly, I just want to ask one last question. I think we've actually found what the meaning of love is through this whole thing. And I want to thank you all very much. You've enlightened me so much. I want to say that if you have the true meaning of love, and then what is the difference between celebrating Valentine's Day and just cherishing the people around you, honestly, just spending time with your family? What is the difference between this day they call Valentine's Day and just saying thank you, saying I'm grateful? What is the difference? I just want to know. I'm asking the young adults this time, because you guys have seen a lot or experienced a lot more. So, Virgo, what would you say is difference between all of that?
Rephrase the question, please.
Oh, okay, so I'm saying, like, as young people, for young people, just so that young people can be clear of this, what would be the difference for young people, for Christian young people, um, of Valentine's Day and just celebrating, spending time with your family, spending time with your friends, saying thank you to the people who have helped you throughout the way? What would you say? Would you say that there's no difference between that? So we shouldn't, what's it called, differentiate Valentine's Day from any other day for young Christians? Would you say that?
Okay. I would say if we have the love of Christ in us, every day it's a day to show love. There is no special day that should be cut out to say, this is the day I will love you special. But to appreciate someone, you may not appreciate someone every day. And that is why maybe on birthdays, we appreciate people. And we have other days like Mother's Day, Father's Day. These are days we appreciate them specially. But that doesn't mean that we don't appreciate them every other day. So uh, when it comes to showing love, yes, we show love every day based on the understanding we know or we have from who Christ is. He has made us to see what love is. It is about sacrifice, it's about giving, it's about laying our lives down for another, even when it is not conducive, when we don't feel like it, you just go all out to do it. So for a day to celebrate love, celebrate someone you love, yes, you can. But for young adults, I really don't support that. But for matured ones who have better understanding, yes, because they can give a definition to it, definition of what they want it to be. But for young adults who may not really give a definition, in order to avoid taking what the world has called it, it is better not to dive into it.
Yeah. So I just wanted to round it up with that, just so that we can like have the confirmation that Valentine's Day is just a day that we have specially taken out to really just show everyone our appreciation. As Virgo said, we may not be able to do that every day, but Valentine's Day is the day we say, you know what, for all you've done, I thank you. And I just want to say to all the young people out there, I think it says in Romans 16, I'm not sure. I did not check it out. Be not confirmed, reformed, something like don't go into the things of the world. Don't let the world change you. I just want all the young people to stand firm with the word of God. Stand firm with what God has said for you. And don't let what people tell you, that what all the worldly things, everything the world has changed, don't let that change you too. So I just want to thank all of you for taking out your time to answer all these questions. Honestly, I think that you helped me more than I could have done. So thank you very, very much. And you guys can just turn off your camera, turn on your mic to say bye to everybody. I'm sure they're all grateful as much as I am. Thank you very, very much. So we can just say bye because I'm ending. And now, bye everyone.
Bye.
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 Hi, this has been great.
Yes.
Oh wait, do we end? Oh.
It's ending. Well, thank you guys very much. It's ended now, and I'm actually